Well, parents in more than 200 suburbs will miss out on the full benefits of the government's announced childcare subsidies. A number of providers have announced mid-year fee increases up to 7.8% ahead of the government's policy, which comes into effect on July 10th. It means parents in more expensive cities will bear the cost for any increases above the $164 daily cap for a 12-hour session. Despite the increased fees, childcare organisers say changes will benefit 9 in 10 families, though. Joining us live now, Benjamin Balk. He's the founder and the CEO of Kindicare. Benjamin, good to see you. Thanks for your time this morning. So, parents get subsidies from July 1, but fees increase from July 10, just as workers get a pay rise. Is this proof of what's known as a wage price spiral?
So look, it's great that 9 out of 10 Australian families are going to benefit from the increased subsidies from July 10, but certainly, for the first time, we're seeing 222 suburbs in data that we've exclusively released from Kindicare that shows that fees are increasing in those suburbs above the hourly cap rate, which means any further increases that come through in those suburbs is going to be borne completely by by parents from the childcare providers.
So, when you're saying that 9 and 10 will catch a break, just how much of a break are they actually going to get?
Yeah, so the changes are significant. So, families who previously were on what you consider, I guess, higher incomes above $340,000 who weren't eligible for subsidy are now going to get some form of relief. And for the majority of families on, average incomes across Australia, they're going to see $200, $300, $400 a week in savings if they've got their children in for 2 children, 5 days or more in care.
But how much of that is going to be swallowed up by increased fees from childcare centres?
Yeah, so we've been working with a number of the large providers, and childcare providers are under inflation pressures just like everyone else. We're seeing rents go up 7, 8, 9%. One provider that I spoke to has had their insurance been increased by 96%, and we're in the middle of a workforce crisis in this market as well. So all of those costs being passed on, most providers who have done the analysis on their families have seen that even with a fee increase of between 7 and 11%, almost every family that's attending their services will still be better off under Labor's cheaper childcare plan.
Sure. But I mean, in some instances, the saving is going to be minimal, isn't it, when you stack up the subsidy against the increase?
Certainly the losers are people in metro areas, where you see those fees pushing above $160, $165 a day. We're only seeing the mid-year increases. I fully expect we're going to see another round of increases in December or January. And for those families that are already over the hourly rate cap, if they see $10 or $15 a day, for some families that could be, $400 or $500 a month come January that they're going to be paying out of pocket without any fee relief.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 2 kids in childcare, and my eyes water every single week, Benjamin, when those bills come out of our accounts. But what do you think this will do?
The biggest expense, in some cases, more than rental mortgage for some families. I mean, it's really putting pressure on households that are already struggling with increases in rent, food, electricity, and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically paying private school fees from a young age. We're just looking forward to when we can get them into.
Fees were, but certainly my girls both thankfully in school now. But
that's what we're waiting for. We can't wait to get them into. We can't wait to get them into primary school because we'll get a rest for a bit. And I don't want to make this about myself, but I mean, a lot of people say that. What will this do to placements and teacher numbers, though, in the end?
Yeah, so the big concern here is with the increase in subsidies, we're likely to see increased demand at a time where over 15% of long daycare centres operating nationally already have a staff waiver from the regulatory authority because they don't have enough early childhood teachers with bachelor qualifications or enough staff to cover the enrolments. And so, people looking for more days as a result of the subsidy, trying to get back into the workforce, add to Australia's economic productivity, are going to struggle because the staff simply isn't there to be able to provide the places that Australians need.
Benjamin, really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us. We might touch base with you again next week as we turn into the new financial year. Talk to you again soon, though.